Hi, I'm Wade,
And I'm Kat.
and this is a dash of info.
Little things you want to know.
So, Kat, and listeners, I guess, before Halloween became a whirlwind of candy wrappers and costume contests, it really had a very different energy about it.
Mm-hmm. And not one of spooky fun, but of mischief, unpredictability, and sometimes even disorder.
What? Disorder? Uh,
Disorder.
yeah, so in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the night before Halloween, which was October 30th, duh. It gained a reputation for mischief that spread across neighborhoods and generations.
It was known broadly as Mischief Night. It became a time for playful rebellion, especially among kids and teens who saw it as an opportunity to bend the rules without truly breaking them.
Mm. And this is where pranks were often harmless and communal, like egging somebody's house, tipping over outhouses uh and covering streams in toilet paper. Today we would call that TPing somebody's house, right?
Right. And these acts, while disruptive, weren't always malicious. Instead, they reflected a youthful desire to create temporary chaos and mark the night with laughter and surprise.
But over time, local variations added, well, depth to the tradition.
As always.
Hmm.
Over in Detroit, the evening morphed into something more ominous, dubbed Devil's Night, where petty vandalism sometimes escalated to arson during the late 20th century.
Wow. It only takes
Well,
one group, right?
that escalated quickly, I gotta say.
Yeah. So in northern New Jersey, on the other hand, it embraced a more playful spin with the oddly named Goosey Night, and it was often filled with benign antics like shaving cream fights or tossing corn kernels out a window.
Well, that's not too bad. Well,
No, but in Detroit had everybody beat, man. It turned into arson.
arson, yeah, it's just full on burning stuff down.
Yeah.
Like Woodstock 99 kind of stuff. In any case, Pennsylvania had its own quiet take, with rural communities partaking in pranks like coin tossing or low stakes doorbell ditching, or ding dong ditching,
Yeah,
however you'd like to call it.
ding dong ditching. How about this one time years ago, this one kid tried to ding dong ditch us, and I had these bushes out in the front yard. Now, I thought it was hilarious, okay? That- I'm just that guy. I'm that neighbor. Anyway, he tried to ding dong ditch us, and he hid in the bush, but he's like literally when I come out, I can see him, and I was like, dude, you got to do better next time, okay? But anyway, so these regional quirks gave Mischief Night an identity that shifted with, well, geography. But at its core, it was a movement of playful rebellion, well, before All Hallows Eve. And, it kind of remained intact, right?
Right. As industrialization swept across the US and parts of Europe in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, cities became denser, noisier, and more impersonal.
Yeah. So urbanization brought unprecedented waves of youth into concentrated spaces, often disconnected from traditional community structures.
With parents working long shifts in factories and neighborhoods swelling in size, supervision dwindled.
Mischief Night offered many of these young people, especially adolescents, a rare opportunity to express rebellion and disrupt the rigid rhythms of the industrial life.
Right. That chaotic spirit of the night wasn't just cultural, though. It reflected deep societal shifts where modern pressures collided with youthful impulse.
Yeah, so many Mischief Night antics stayed within the bounds of harmless fun, but as kids will do, some of them turned very notably destructive.
Right. Kids will be kids, as they say, right?
Yeah, especially when you don't give them when you give them freedom for a Mischief Night, right?
Right. Talk about the purge. In any case.
It's weird that you say that because when we started talking about this, I was like, The Purge. No, that wouldn't fit in here.
One infamous incident occurred in Camden, New Jersey in the 1990s when what began as egg throwing escalated into widespread property damage and looting across several blocks.
Detroit's Devil's Night reached a peak in the 1980s when the city faced hundreds of fires in a single night. Abandoned buildings were set ablaze in coordinated acts of vandalism.
Oof.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Woodstock 99 there. Have you seen the documentary on that?
No, not yet, but I guess I need to watch it.
Yes. Yes. And how that happened and why that happened was some of it just made me facepalm, you know?
I guess what we need to do is just do an episode on it.
That sounds good. So, in response, Angels Night was born as a grassroots movement to counteract the destruction, mobilizing citizens to patrol neighborhoods and discourage unrest or
Yeah.
vandalism at the very least.
Yes. So for real. So the police departments and community leaders often found themselves unprepared for the scale of unpredictability of Mischief Night. Yeah, I could say so.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the kids outnumber adults. And so the local governments imposed curfews, restricted the sale of eggs and toilet paper around Halloween, and increased street patrols.
Could you imagine you go to, your local store and you're like, hey, I need to get some TP, and you're like,
It's locked
uh,
up in the back. Sorry, let me go get you some.
no, you can't buy it until tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Dang.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
But
Uh,
man, I'm out of TP. What am I gonna do? You better go
yeah.
find your terrarium. Right, that communal sponge you got at home.
Oh my gosh, you brought the communal sponge into it this time, not
I
me.
did. It was called a terrarium. You don't remember?
I know what it was called, but like it's supposed to be me that gets you with that, not you getting me with that.
Ah ha ha. The tables have turned.
So, back to this, okay? So, containment proved, well, difficult. In many cases, the line between prank and criminal act, it kind of blurred, especially in areas already strained by economic hardship and rising crime rates. I mean, you
Mm.
think about what I just said. Mischief Night gives the true criminals, a way out, right?
Well, yeah, let's just blame it on the kid down the street.
Yeah, I mean,
Something.
hey, look, it was part of Mischief Night, man. I mean, they set my house on fire. What am I supposed to do? I need to collect my insurance money.
Oof. Some
We,
communities responded with education campaigns, neighborhood watch initiatives, and youth outreach, but the tug of war between tradition and public safety remained ongoing.
yeah, so by the early 20th century, Halloween Mischief Night kind of escalated, and communities struggled to contain the vandalism and unrest. So a nationwide movement emerged, and it was to transform the holiday into something more wholesome and, well, a little more manageable.
That makes sense as to why I, born in the 90s, have never heard of Mischief Night. But no, but of course, the idea of Mischief Night is still portrayed in some films. In
Yeah.
any case, so civic groups, educators, and local officials began promoting structured activities like school carnivals, community parties, and nighttime parades.
Yeah, so these events offered a safe alternative to, well, roaming pranks of Mischief Night, and it redirected the youth toward costumes, games, and, well, a little bit of friendly competition, right?
Right. That's when trick-or-treating quickly rose to prominence, especially in suburban neighborhoods, because, I mean, that's the best place to go trick-or-treating. Instead of eggs and toilet paper, children now carried pillowcases and jack-o'-lantern pails, eager for candy from welcoming porches. That's trick or treat.
And I think before we go any further into media and advertising, I think we should take a small break here.
A small break.
All right. So now that we're back, media and advertising played a significant role in reshaping Halloween's image.
Right. In that post-war boom of the 1950s, companies saw an opportunity to commercialize the holiday.
Yeah, so candy makers released special packaging, costume manufacturers marketed ready-to-wear costumes for kids, and magazines featured cheerful Halloween spreads with punch bowls and bobbing for apples.
hmm Popular films and TV shows adopted light-hearted takes on ghosts and ghouls, softening the eerie edges of folklore into family-friendly entertainment.
Yeah, so the newspapers from the 1930s through the 60s often echoed the push for reform.
A 1947 editorial in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch urged parents to encourage parties that offer supervised fun and discourage unsupervised roaming. What?
Yeah.
No
And
unsupervised parties. Come on now.
and I know we're kind of backed up a little bit, from where we were at, but in 1933, the Los Angeles Times reported the city officials had launched safe Halloween zones and patrols to curb the growing threat of juvenile vandalism. So they were
Right.
kind of ahead of the game there.
Mm-hmm. And even the president, Dwight Eisenhower, during his administration, made statements advocating for neighborhood celebrations as a way to promote community unity and deter youth troublemaking, which, that's fair.
Yeah. And this shift was from chaos to candy, and it helped solidify Halloween as the fun-filled, child-focused event, well, we know today.
And it wasn't just a seasonal change, though. It was a cultural reinvention, one parade and one commercial at a time.
Yeah, so Mischief Night hasn't completely disappeared, but it has evolved. And in certain parts of the US, especially in New Jersey and still parts of Pennsylvania and scattered neighborhoods in New York, October 30th still carries that unpredictable buzz.
Local teens might stealthily drape trees in toilet paper or leave mysterious chalk messages on sidewalks.
It's less chaos, more custom, and one of those traditions that thrives quietly in places where, well, we've always done this, right?
Right. We've always done it that way.
Yeah.
But there's the twist. Mischief has gone digital. With social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram, pranks are no longer limited to the block. They're broadcast to the entire world.
Yeah, so now you got people or kids and teens that are trying to do viral stunts, stage scares, and challenge videos have become the new currency of Mischief Night, where notoriety comes from likes instead of neighborhood legends.
Right. Some kids still get messy, but many just get clever. With ring cameras, Snapchat filters, and hashtags turning pranks into performance art.
So communities have noticed and responded, recognizing the fine line between tradition and trouble. Local leaders now lean into organized alternatives.
Trunk or treat events pop up in school parking lots. Costume scavenger hunts take over parks, and spooky safe zones offer entertainment without the risk.
Yeah, and these aren't just distractions. They're a way to kind of steer youthful energy into celebration and not chaos.
So, yes, Mischief Night is still a thing. It's quieter, smarter, and sometimes sneakier.
But, and there's always a but, the impulse to stir the pot, even for just one night, still lives on. And now it comes with, well, a Wi-Fi signal.
Hmm. As the night winds down and porch lights flicker off, we're left with one lingering question.
Is Mischief Night just a harmless prank, a rite of passage for rowdy teens, or is it something more mysterious? Maybe even a portal to Halloween's darker past?
Hmm. What did you guys do in your Mischief Night if you did one? Let us know.
Yeah, put it in the Facebook group or email us.
Hmm.
Eh,
Right. From tipped outhouses to viral pranks, the evolution of October 30th tells us that mischief has many faces. I wouldn't want to tip an outhouse, be honest with you.
I'm glad they're no longer around.
Oh, yeah, me too. Me too.
Maybe out in the wilderness somewhere, where there's no running water. But
Mm,
then they're really not listening to the podcast. So I'm glad they're not around.
right. You know, I've
Uh,
had to I've had to use outhouses while camping, so.
yeah, yeah, me too. Me too. We need to do one on porta potties. I know we've talked about it a couple of times. Maybe it's just rebellion with a wink, but I don't know.
With a wink. And maybe it's folklore with a flashlight. Either way, it's a tradition that refuses to vanish quietly. All right, so the chaos you witnessed, the legends whispered in your town that only came alive on that one wild night.
Yeah, so remember, the line between spooky fun and something stranger is always thinner than what you really think.
Oh, well,
Hey,
that sounds like fun. I
did
have
you
never pranked anything.
really?
Yeah, no, man.
Oh my
No.
gosh, we used to do that when I was a kid. I'm not gonna get into the pranks because I don't want to set them aside, but
When when I
how
tell
did
you if Goody Two Shoes was a person, I'd be the epitome of that. Okay.
you and I are totally different.
Well, there's a little bit of an age gap. And I was absolutely terrified of going home with the police. All right. If the police couldn't do it, I would tell them, please just take me to jail. All right. If you would like to support this podcast, tell a friend and help get the word out.
If you would like to help us keep the show going, you can do so at Patreon. The link is in the show notes.
William and I want to thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you.
Join the Facebook group at Info on the Go
Share with us your show ideas.
or ask us a question.
Subscribe and follow us wherever you get your podcast.
Send us a text using the link in the show notes or leave a review.
Leaving a review does help others find us, and you can email us at
infoonthegopodcast@gmail.com.
yes, that is all one word. Till next time.
Stay curious.